Jenny McCarthy Show.
Oh! Sammy Hagar.
I'm just going with it, you know?
Space Between. You guys can pre-order the new album and tour info at redrocker.com. Congratulations.
Okay.
Everything.
Yeah,
New album, tour.
Yeah, we just flew in last night from the West Coast. West
shit.
Coast kind of guy. Yeah, and they got me up early this morning. So if you're glassing up,
Yep,
baby, I'm with you.
I am.
Can I do it?
Of course you can.
You won't be.
No, you're a rock
I'm
and
looking
roll
at you.
star.
Trust me, I'm looking at
so
you.
I know. I ain't. No.
You're better looking at that guy over there. So I'll be.
Thank God. Anyone can be.
Should I put on my phones?
It's up to you. If you want to hear yourself, you don't have to.
I can hear you.
How was that? Were you on Howard's show today?
Yeah, I just finished with Howard.
How was it?
He was kind to me. You know how it goes. When you go on Howard, you go, keep your fingers crossed. So he was either in a good mood or maybe he likes me more than he used to. But, yeah, I had my whole band, and we actually played live. And I'm singing at, 5 o'clock in the morning on West Coast time. So other than that, it was great.
It's funny how you do get nervous before you go into Howard show because you know you can't bullshit him.
Yeah, and he might throw you the weirdest left curve. Ronnie Dunn just checked into the hotel, the Brooks and Dunns. They're in town doing press, and my publicist said, "Oh, I just saw Ronnie Dunn in the elevator," and he's a friend. So I text him. I said, "I'm going to do Howard Stern in the morning." He goes, "You're a brave man." He said, "He scares me." I'm going, wow.
I think everybody has the shits a little bit before they walk in that studio because, he's going to go in places. He goes into a vault of information and will dig out shit that you're like, God damn it.
But you're not like that. You're not mean and cruel,
No.
and you're beautiful, and you've got a nice, sounding, sweet voice. Do you say bad things about people?
No, I mean behind their backs, but not to their face.
Not a girl.
I'm a non-confrontational type of person, and I consider myself to be a nice person.
Are you a Libra?
I am a Scorpio.
Oh, I'm a Libra with a double Scorpio. Watch out, man. We could do some damage
Damn.
on this show.
You're not kidding. I have to tell you, though, you do look very young.
Well, thank you.
What is that secret?
I'm happy. You know what I mean?
That says a lot.
I had a guy tell me years ago, a guy that's 10 years older than me. I'm 71 now. And this guy he's been a mentor, and he was 10 years older than me. And he was always telling me that, whatever you go around carrying in your head, the longer, if it's bad things, the longer you carry it, it'll start showing on your face. I remember him telling me this when I was 30. And he told me every 10 years you're going to gain 10 pounds, too. And he was right about that, too.
Yeah, my mother-in-law says you have the face you deserve by the time you're 40.
Yeah, it's something about it. So I try not to carry any bad things around with me. And I spend as much time as I can looking at beautiful things, the ocean, mountains, trees, forests, whatever. I know it sounds, like I'm a tree hugger, but I do. I actually have hugged trees before.
You know what? I have too.
Yeah.
I was on LSD, but nonetheless, I hugged that tree for a long time.
But anyway, I don't carry any anger on my face.
And you could tell. So good for you. I mean, you could be retired right now with all your tequila money. Why aren't you just kind of sitting on that beach hugging more trees?
Well, I sit on the beach enough. It's so funny that, like yourself, I'm sure, if you do what you enjoy doing, you are retired. I mean, what do you do? Say, when somebody said, what's retirement like? Well, you get to do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. I went, well, been doing that my whole life, so now why would I want to change that?
And it's nice getting to the place where you are in your career, and as we get older, is that you can choose. That's, to me, a huge privilege, is being able to choose to work with certain people and not have to work with certain people.
Yeah, especially in rock and roll. I mean, there's so many people that I've grown up with and known forever, and they come and go, and certain bands make it real big, and then they're all egoed out, and then they flop, and then they're different people and all that stuff. So, the longer you've been around in the business you're in, then you get to go, I like that guy.
That's right.
And I've always liked that guy, and I never liked that guy. And then you just kind of, you just go through your life and say, nah. Somebody says, hey, so-and-so wants to do some shows with you or something. I go, nah, I don't like that band.
The power of saying no is such a blessing. I mean, egos, I'm always fascinated by ego. I read so many spiritual books on it. I have people come in here to talk about it. And we as viewers, listeners, fans get to witness it in bands because, here's a group of people that have been together, to have to stay together for years. My husband is in a band. He's been with them since they were in third grade. And no matter what, there's egos. So, but that's
everybody's got one.
Yeah, they do.
We can deny it all we want, right? I mean, you can say, I say, well, I try to keep mine intact, but it just takes one comment from somebody to get it all jumped up, and then all of a sudden I'm going, oh yeah, what do you mean by that?
100%.
Yeah, I don't know. Ego's a funny thing, but we all have them. Yeah, don't tell me you don't. You know, maybe
I think
some of them guru guys, they might not have egos, I guess, but I don't know.
Maybe some
I
of
bet
those
you if you
monks.
said, you're not that good at meditation, they'd go, oh, yeah, watch this. Put their leg behind their head or something, you know.
That's pretty fucking funny. I mean, you worked with some pretty amazing musicians in your career. Like, who would be your dream ensemble next?
Oh, geez. Well, first of all, I'm not just trying to hype it, but I love The Circle, my band. Jason Bonham on drums, Michael Anthony from Van Halen on bass, and Vic Johnson. It's like, we get along so good. We love the same kind of music. No one's ever said in the studio or backstage or, why don't we play that song? Somebody goes, oh, I hate that song. It's always like, oh, that'd be great. You know, we all just really get along. And that's the best thing about music. You know, chemistry is everything. You could put Springsteen, Sting, Bono, Neil Peart on drums and Michael Anthony on bass together. It don't mean you're going to have a good band.
No.
It doesn't mean anything until the chemistry works.
That's right.
So,
like any kind of team.
Yeah, I'm so damn happy. Yeah, it really is. It's a team. So I'm so happy with this band. But, you know, I love Keith Richards. I love Eric Clapton. And those two guys, I'd be a roadie for them.
And haven't you done something with Eric?
No,
or that's just a dream
never.
still.
I've met Eric a couple times, and I met Keith once at the Hall of Fame induction. The greatest story I have about Keith Richards, his daughters come over to me and ask for a picture, and to take a picture with me, and I said, they said, we're Keith Richards' daughters, and, you take a picture, and I'm saying, you introduce me to your dad, and I'll take a picture with you. And he was so sweet. God, man.
That's so nice. And it was fun to watch celebrities get starstruck over other celebrities.
Oh, yeah. I'm the worst, man. I think everybody's a bigger star than me.
No.
I do. I mean, I'm happy to be that way.
That's so
I see
sweet.
There's no ego. I don't have an ego. Are you kidding me?
That's so funny. I mean, who has celebrity-wise come up to you and been like, oh my God, Sammy, I love you. You're like, that is fucking awesome.
Well, geez. I don't know. I can't remember who. I mean, it happens all the time that I think, wow, that guy actually really likes me. I'd say the most oddball one that really touched me, because I'm a huge fan, James Taylor came up to me and stood on the side stage and watched me do an acoustic benefit I was doing for Neil Young. And he comes after the show, he goes, man, Sammy, I had the hardest time not coming out and getting in with that Jimmy Reed song you were doing. And I'm going, oh, because he's just like, he's the white Jimmy Reed. He sings like, he's that smooth voice. And I was so flattered that he was watching. And then he comes in my dressing room and just starts telling me all this stuff. Oh, yeah, man, I love this, I love that, And that was the most surprising. And
flattering.
Because James Taylor and Sammy Hagar, what the hell will we have in common other than we're both in the same industry?
And successful musicians.
But I love James Taylor. I think he was that was the most flattering. But it happens all the time. I'm not bragging, but it happens all the time.
I love hearing it.
You meet people, and I like when young guys come up. Like people that are just that you think, they probably don't
just
give a crap about me. Like if. Maybe you don't think you get respect from the younger people as you get older. Like Frank Sinatra, he was, real nervous about Elvis, so he invites him on his TV show. I read about that. It was like, those young guys, they make you nervous, But then when they come up and say, oh man, I love you, you're my hero, and all that stuff. All right.
Do you ever do that? Do you ever look back and like kind of in hindsight and go like, God, I am a little bit freaked out by the new guy, or I'm a little bit nervous about it? Or are you at a comfortable place?
Oh, I'm at a total comfortable place now. But when you're like in Van Halen in the 90s, when grunge came along, that was freaky, man, because I'm looking at these guys and, we were sort of the glam rock, we're all dressed up and dressing like girls and stuff, I mean, come on.
You look pretty
Motley
fucking
Crue
fabulous.
And Poison and these guys.
More hairspray than
It was
me.
more fun dressing like that than the way I dress now, I'll tell you that. But then when grunge came and they were like, down and dirty and funky.
Nirvana comes along.
Yeah, and they made me nervous. I thought these guys, they're gonna disrespect us. They're gonna, look at you, say, yeah, your shit's done, buddy. And it didn't happen. I was so insecure about it that I invited Alice in Chains with their first album, their first single, when they had Man in the Box, to open for Van Halen. They came out on the whole tour with us, and I've been dear friends with Jerry Cantrell since then. But that's how insecure I was. I said, no, let's get them on the damn show. That way their fans will know that we're cool and we're giving them a...
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's kind of genius, though, but it came out of a fear.
Yeah, it came out of fear a little bit. Not bad fear, but like nervousness. It came out of a nervous.
But then also a kind of an intelligent one, because I bet it worked.
It did. No, they did really good, and you know, business was good, and and I made a friend out of it. You know.
Still friends with him.
Oh, yeah. Jerry and I, he comes to Cabo from a birthday bash every friggin' year.
Oh, I can only imagine that birthday bashes. I'm talking to Sammy
Come
Hagar.
on down, Jenny. Listen, you're
The
welcome.
Circle's the band. Let me promote this. The new album, Space Between. You guys can pre-order the album and get tickets info at redrocker.com. The bands I've had in here, I love talking about the party days when, like, just the drugs and the sex and the alcohol.
The best times ever.
Ever.
I mean, you can't do it your whole life. Most of the guys from my era, not most of them, a lot of them are dying. I don't have to tell you how many people have died in the last 3 or 4 years. People a lot younger than me. And a lot of it was because of that. But, I was fortunate that I had brakes on my car. It's the way I like to put it. Half the guys, I was a singer, so you can't stay up all night and do blow and smoke joints and drink and then sing.
No, you have an instrument.
The next day, your instrument is shot. So I learned once and fast, because there's nothing more embarrassing than being on stage and can't sing.
Right.
There's nothing more. But your guitar breaks. My amp blew up. That's not embarrassing. You'll get another one. Your voice.
Do you remember the actual place and how you felt and how you sounded?
Yeah.
Or just remember
I was
the night
in
before?
Cabo at the friggin' Cabo Wabo, and I was doing everything that you can possibly do. And I went to jump up on stage, and I couldn't sing, and I was all just. As I just said, I'm embarrassed. I was so embarrassed for myself.
Shit.
So I said, I don't ever want to feel like that again. So I always said, on the nights off, I'd party a little bit. I mean, back in the heyday, I don't do none of that stuff.
Right.
Well, I do, actually. I drink. I still do about it.
Exactly.
A little bit,
Just a little bit. Holidays.
I'm not
Holidays.
doing it. Yeah, I'll have a little fun. But honestly, it was me that was always saying, hey, I'm going. Guys would say, oh, man, here, man, just do one more bump or something. Say, nope.
You do the Irish
I'm out of
exit,
here.
yeah.
And I would always leave. So, and those guys that stayed all night, a lot of them ain't around. And I got to tell you, it's a lot to do with it. Some, not for all, but.
And it's also why you're still here, you're with it, and look amazing. I know I keep saying that, but it is. I'm quite. I mean, how many do people tell you that all the time?
Yeah. I don't know. It's like almost embarrassing, but I'll take it. It's better than, wow, you feel okay, man? You sure you're okay? Have you seen your doctor?
You look a lot better than your pictures before, so I
get embarrassed talking about it. But I'm happy. I don't, people say, oh, man, you have some work done and stuff. And if I was going to have work done, I'd get my friggin' nose fixed. That would have been fixed years ago. That's the most real estate I've got is my nose.
Oh, my God.
But no, I don't know. Like I say, I take care of myself. I exercise and I walk on the beach more than anybody probably I know.
We had a guest in here previously, right before you, that talked about it's basically about being able to manifest, being able to hear your subconscious, follow those intuitions. When you were younger, was this something that you kind of always knew you wanted to be, and did you kind of project what I call like rockets of desire out there, images of what your life turned out to be?
I have a new song on my album. It's what I call them chapters. Chapter 9 is called Affirmation. It's the second to last track on there, and it is about that. It's really about getting with yourself and affirming who you are and what you are, and you can't bullshit yourself. You look in a mirror and you really do it, and you get used to doing it a lot, which I do, and I have forever. Another thing someone taught me at a very young age when I was first in this business, before I went on stage, look in the mirror, tell myself I was going to be great, and not question anything, and just say, you got it. You look great. You're going to go out and kill them, and you just tell yourself that. And if you really don't feel it, you find yourself looking at yourself and shifty-eyed, and it's so. And
you keep doing it until you feel like you believe it?
Well, honestly, some nights you just go, I ain't got it. I'm going to have to live with that. You can't.
You're funny.
No, it's true. I'm a pretty honest guy.
I'm a big believer in that, too.
Oh, I am. So, but to answer your question, absolutely, Jenny. I think for anyone, if you don't believe in yourself, it ain't going to happen. I have no, this is my Libra side, I have no downside. The big balance thing, I'm all up here. Oh, yeah, that's such a great idea. And, so I don't ever think that anything can go wrong. And then it's probably my downfall. If I have one fault, it's like I'm way too optimistic. So, but it did get me to where I am. I guarantee you. I know so many people that I was growing up with that had more talent than me in my little bands when I was first starting and they'd be always negative,
Pessimists.
you know. Oh, I'm better than that guy. How come he's a big star, man? And and I'm better. I'm going, damn, dude, you got to go out and get it. Roll up your sleeves a little bit here, and not
I
just sit
100%
and gripe
believe
about
that.
it.
Yeah, pessimists. They don't get further.
Yeah.
The positive mind. I feel like your song "Space Between," like that is a spiritual, term.
Well, it is. I believe that everything comes from the space between. What you do.
Yeah.
Okay, you're doing this show now. I'm doing this show now. Well, that's not in between. It's like, well, what happens when there's nothing going on? And that's the second everything stops.
Stillness.
Yeah, that's when things come in. And for me, and that's when I get those songs. I call it just comes out of the ether. People go, where do you get your song ideas? I go, they come to me, man. I just relax enough, wake up in the middle of the night, not thinking about anything. Bam, something comes and hits you, smack you around. Creative people some are tormented and tortured by it, and I've never felt tortured because I don't mind working.
No.
I like my work.
I
I like picking up a
hear ya.
guitar and writing a song.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
That
man.
is great.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good that you have the tools to be able to do that. And I firmly, when I saw Space Between, I was like, I wonder if he means it as the spiritual way that I get my source ideas.
You got it.
You
Yeah.
know?
And you just that's where good things come. Like in that space between of doing so, out there working, you're hustling, but that when you have that down moment, it can only be 1 second sometimes. It's just completely still, and I don't meditate, but it's the same thing, and all of a sudden you just go, wow, you just have this crazy epiphany, and it's never a negative thing. It's never like, I'm gonna get that son of a gun, man. I want to show them. It's never
Right,
that
no.
kind of. You don't get those feelings
No.
from the space between.
No,
You
it's
get-
always divine.
Yeah.
It's always
Right
the
on.
great idea that I love it. I'm talking to Sammy Hagar. Space Between, we're talking about pre-order the album and get ticket info at redrocker.com. So would you say that your life did turn out exactly the way you pictured it?
Oh, hell no. It turned out 1,000 times better. I pictured making a record and going on tour and maybe having a little money in the bank. But no, I didn't dream the tequila. I didn't dream the whole Cabo Wabo thing that happened. I didn't dream, being having in band like Van Halen and a band like Chickafoot and I just dreamt one band,
Right.
and the whole career, the way it just keeps rolling, and I don't know. I'm luckiest
You
bastard
are.
on
You're
the planet.
lucky, but
I am lucky.
You're humbled and seem grateful. You're not a dick about it.
I worked for it. I admit
did.
I've worked my whole life, and if you want to call it work, but it has been time consuming but in a very positive time. So I'm really happy with it. And to make this record now, that you say what am I doing here at 71? I'm going. I got this mission that this album is about money, greed, enlightenment, and truth, and it's a story, and it's a story about how the money started. Everyone thinks, oh, money's the root of all evil. Rich people do this and they do that. So I write a story about this guy that got rich and got powerful and got all puffed up, and then I just use Vegas as a metaphor. He goes to Vegas, and he gets taken down, gets involved with drugs and hookers and all this stuff, and gambles, and comes out, and gets wiped out, and then he gets all pissed off, has an epiphany, and decides he's getting out of the game. He's going to pull out, and he's just going to move out to the country and become a free man. So then he becomes a free man, and he's an asshole. Now he's got his guns. I ain't paying my taxes, and get off my land. And then his wife leaves him, says, oh, man, I can't live with this asshole. And then she takes all the money, and then he ends up crashing at some friend's house, and he watches his kids become trust fund babies, and they're out doing blow and partying and doing all this stuff, and he's going, man, I got nothing. And he has this epiphany through an affirmation that, wow, money is not the root of all evil. Money is beautiful. It's greed. And so the last song is called Without Greed. And I'm on a mission to let people know this, that so many people hate rich people, and it's like, how could you hate Warren Buffett? The guy builds schools and hospitals and feeds people all over the world. And Bill Gates. These are the two richest guys around, right?
Right.
There's guys that have.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Because
So
when I'm even in Catholicism, I was raised strict Catholic. Now I'm recovering Catholic, but they give a belief system, which is, blessed are those who weak and poor. So I used to think when I was younger, oh, rich people are evil. I mean, that was like a subconscious, thing that I had to let go of.
Yeah.
In order to bring money in my life.
And you think money's bad. Look what you can do with money. I feed people. Every town I go to, I write check to a food bank. Every town for 9 years I've been doing this. It's well over $3 million added up throughout the years. feed people. You know, you can heal sick people. You can help them with hospitalization. It's what you do with your money that's important. So anyway, so without greed, money is beautiful.
Yeah, that's very
You
true.
can stop a war. You can heal the sick. You can feed the poor. And that's the words from it. So when I had this vision in my head, I got so excited. I freaking rolled up my sleeve and made a new record. And, you know, I haven't done it for, I don't know how many years.
I mean, it's kind of like a spiritual book that you're made into an album, if you will.
I call it I call my songs chapters, exactly.
That's
Because it's a
awesome.
concept record,
Yeah.
you know? So,
Good for
you know,
you.
I hope everyone enjoys it. There's no record business anymore, you know.
No.
I mean, there are for some people, but I think a young rock pop star that comes up, no one's ever heard of them before. You know, all the young people get excited and they buy their records.
Yeah.
But guys like me, I say, man, I've got 30 of his records. Well, buy this one too.
Yep, they
I'll give
will.
it to you.
I
You know,
have a
steal it,
feeling-
get it for free. You just got to listen to it. It may enlighten you a little bit.
I know exactly where it came from. It came from the space between, so
It
I know
did.
it's going to be fucking amazing.
Right on, Jenny.
Sammy Hagar
Boom.
and The Circle. Come back anytime. You guys pick up the album. Check out his tour dates at redrocker.com. We'll be right back. Will you take a picture with me?
Absolutely.
Jenny McCarthy Show.